Yo, what's up? It's me, YoMarlino. Now, if you do watch the channel normally, you'll know I don't normally record videos. I'm usually live, and I usually just like highlight parts of the stream and upload it to YouTube. But I thought it's time maybe for a little bit of a change because I have a little bit of a difficult time like articulating all my thoughts when I'm live and stuff like that. So especially when it comes to videos like this where I'm like making a review of a game or like a first impressions or like just trying to state some like facts or whatever, as opposed to like watching a video on stream or whatever. So I've assembled a compilation of a few of my thoughts and opinions about the sort of Convallaria. So currently I am level 28. I've gotten decently far into the game. I mean, as like a kind of a being like somewhat casual. I'm just gonna get into some of my thoughts on the game really, and yeah. To start off, I'm gonna talk about the story. Now I'm gonna preface this with the storytelling aspect, which I actually think is really good in this game. So what I really like about the story is that the devs do a really good job of like mixing in combat with the dialogue and the like the yap and the story and stuff. And they really like you can see anything with these two swords or this is like a boss fight, and anything with these two swords is a combat mission. And a lot of the other stuff here, like this is also, I believe, it's like a more story-based combat mission. But all of these, this entire story, anything that's not a book is straight like combat, right? But it's infused with these like dialogue, like lines and stuff like that. So a lot of it is, it makes it very digestible for a player, especially if you're somebody who doesn't like to like, or who's not good at like digesting a lot of story when they just like toss it at you, right? Which it can be me sometimes, especially if it's just like like multiple missions in a row or like several minutes in a row of just straight yapping and story and whatever dialogue. But this game does a really good job at infusing the story and dialogue with the combat and making it way more immersive for you, and it makes so much more sense, and it's very easy to follow this way. Regardless of what the story content is, I think they've laid a great foundation for how they're going to deliver the content. Like I was just saying, I do love the storytelling of this game. However, the Spiral of Destinies is something that I don't like entirely understand, right? So from my understanding, it's like an alternate like timeline, I guess, of how the main story, which is I guess the Fool's Journey, could have played out. So this is like the main story, this is like the present or whatever, and then the Spiral of Destinies, to my understanding, is like an alternate like timeline of events or whatever. Which by the way, I do enjoy the Spiral of Destinies. I love the like the kind of like idle management strategy game modes that they have in there. Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy like the content of what's in this game mode. However, the only issue I see arising with the separation of the story with Spiral of Destinies and Fool's Journey is that when we get later on into like further chapters of both of them, that the devs are either going to be strained to make like two stories that are both good, instead of just making one really good story. Which, to be fair, so far from what I've seen, I do really enjoy both of the stories. They're quite similar, to be fair, but I do really enjoy both stories, and I do think they're of good quality. So, but I think in the future it could also get confusing for the player when, like, if these stories do end up becoming very like vastly different. But that, like, again, that could be a good thing or a bad thing if they become super different, because you could also say like, oh, well, that's a good thing because then I'm gonna, mix them up less often. So I think, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this. They know what they're doing, I assume. So, I'm not looking down on that. Now the concept and the content itself in the story so far, like I just mentioned, is actually really good. It piques my interest a lot, especially this whole like global turmoil or like geopolitical climate, right, which really satisfies the ex like Crusader Kings Hearts of Iron player in me, the ex like strategy game player, as well as the setting that it's really in is like, it's very interesting. But at the same time, they don't like overload you with like political jargon, right? So that's, I mean, I would be able to handle that, but for some other players that obviously like are not so like keen on that kind of story or game, it really does do them like a big service by not overloading you with like a huge like big terms or like this kind of like, just like I said, like a bunch of yap. Like they allow you to just like freely play a bunch of combat, right? And you don't really have to pay attention to the story if you don't want to. And yeah, I think this is what this game does really well. As far as the story missions costing stamina goes, this doesn't really bother me much at all, because each story mission that you play gives you like 40 Luxite, which is, in my opinion, like a very fair trade-off. And the hard modes of the story, so anything that has this star, you're able to do like a hard mode version, does not cost stamina, and it gives you 80 luck sites when you clear it. So that to me is well worth the 30 stamina cost for 40 luck sites. Pretty much all you have to do is like beat this combat mission and boom, you get 40 luck sites. I think that's like very fair. But that does bring me into the next section, which is the stamina system. So it's a little bittersweet for me because like the stamina regens like super fast. So I think it's like 1 stamina per like 4 minutes. How do I say that? Yeah, I think it's like 1 stamina every 4 minutes, which is much faster than other gacha games. But the problem is it caps out at 240. And this cap of 240 runs, sorry, oh my god, this cap of 240 runs out like very quickly. So most everything in the game is stamina gated. So like, except for like Spiral of Destinies is not stamina gated. But everything in this Crossing Worlds except Tower of Conquest, I believe, is stamina gated. All of this certainly is. And it all costs about like 40 stamina to clear, or 30 stamina here, 20 stamina here for the rank up trials. I believe the memory retrievals is 40, but don't quote me on that. And weaponry is also 40. So some stuff costs, it'll cost around like 20 to 40 stamina for each of this, and that makes farming like very stamina intensive. So what ends up happening is you'll run out of this 240 stamina like quite quickly. It's like very possible to do that depending on what you're doing. And it regens fast, but not necessarily fast enough to where like you can get more done in like a quick amount of time, right? So it kind of like, it doesn't, I hate to say the word it forces you, but I'll say it for as an example. Like it forces you to play again a different time of the day. So like let's say I played the game at like 10 in the morning, right, and I spend all my stamina, but I still have more to do or whatever, you know. That means I have to play later in the day when all my stamina is regen. So I mean, it's not a huge deal if you have a lot of time. And then again, I say forces very loosely because the game is not actually punishing you for not logging in again. It really is not. But yeah, having the cap at 240 is it does put you in a slight predicament, but yeah. It's like a little bit of an awkward time gap. As far as leveling characters goes, it is pretty straightforward. Your level as a player is the cap of the characters. I think that's pretty nice and straightforward. Along the lines of what I just mentioned with stamina, like trying to max out a bunch of gear can get very like cost intensive after a little while on your stamina, because farming is like each farm can cost like 30 stamina, like I said. So the issue arises where it's like, okay, I just ran out of stamina, but that means you can't max out all your characters immediately right away, which honestly I perceive as a good thing. That way people don't like I just said, completely max out their characters and like reach end game immediately, and it does a really good job at like balancing that out. I guess this brings me to character design. I actually do really like a lot of the characters in the game. For example, I'm a big fan of Dantalion and Beryl, who I have both of them. But as far as characters I don't have, I really do like, let's see. I like Garcia. I really like Garcia. She reminds me of Mash, with not just because she has pink hair. It's the shield too. She reminds me of Mash from FGO. Nungal and Guzman are all like really good-looking characters to me, but there are some characters that look really similar. So here, I'm gonna pull up the. Just looking at this here, I'll even sort by legendary. A lot of the characters do look like quite similar to me, and I don't know if it's just the way this art looks to me, but a lot of them do look quite similar. Like even characters that I mentioned, I do really like Garcia and Nungal kind of look the same ish, so they look very similar. You'll have like Nono Will, Lily Will, and I get they're like probably related or something, but a lot of them are just like, I don't want to say like Gloria is, I will say she's like a slightly basic looking, and a lot of these characters are just like white/gray hair and pale skin or whatever. Like, I mean, these characters, none of them look inherently bad, I would say, but like a lot of them don't really pique my interest. Like I would say like Gloria, Alexi, Tidon, Rawi is like kind of iconic, so she can stay. Inanna, like a lot of them are just like very basic looking, if that makes sense. But a lot of them do look really cool, so that kind of makes up for it. So I really like characters like Dantalion, Beryl. I like Momo. Safia is cool looking. Cole, I like this. I don't like the one skin where bro has like the mask off. It's like now you literally just look like a basic ass character. But with the mask on, this is like really cool looking. As far as the combat goes, very satisfying, very fun to play. I've had a lot of people watch the game, like either me playing on stream and my chat says it looks good, or my friends watching me like streaming on Discord and saying, oh, this game looks really fun, like what is this? And I'm like, oh, you know. So I think this game, the combat is very satisfying. It's that nice like strategy game kind of feel. It's pretty straightforward to understand. You don't have to do necessarily so much reading. They make it very simple for you to understand, right? So I like that a lot, but there's also a lot of intricacies that you could learn if you wanted to. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the devs are gonna do in terms of like new move sets for characters. So like so far all the characters like attacks and like moves have been like pretty unique to me. So I would say like I am excited to see like what they're planning to do. All right, I'll talk about the gacha. In regards to gacha in this game, I've seen a lot of like Steam reviews talk about like, oh, like this game, oh, it doesn't need to be a gacha game. I hate the gacha games. Like, I mean, like, listen, I get that, sure. If this game were not gacha, I wouldn't be playing it because I wouldn't have heard about it because I'm in like the kind of gacha community, so I know about this game because it's gacha. By the way, Garcia looking fine as hell right here. Jesus Christ. So I appreciate this game being gacha, and also I'm used to it because I play a lot of other gacha games, so I'm like very I'm not shocked by any kind of like, of course, like the random, like, I don't want to say tourists, that sounds cringe, but you know what I mean. In the Steam reviews are gonna be like oh, it's pay to win. Yeah, of course it's pay to win. It's a gacha game. Are you like stupid or something? Like, you must be some type of daft to not understand that. I'm sure the game would be great if it wasn't gacha, but at the same time, the gacha game provides like a level of like unknown in terms of like characters that you can't get or haven't gotten, or whatever, like characters you could get. Like, you know, I'm like so curious to see how Garcia plays, or you know, but I don't have her, so I'm like, okay, that incentivizes me to keep playing so I can, you know, get pulls. Obviously free to play, surely. But yeah, I really, by the way, I really haven't spent at all on getting pulls. So, and I'm like quite content with what I've gotten. I've gotten like 2 copies of Barrel, like as you probably saw. I already got Barrel like twice. By the way, this skin, this was absolutely retarded to get, because like, bro, where's the event? Bro, okay, I can't go back. I don't think I can go back to the round 1. But I had to go through every single one. I'll probably put a screenshot on screen. I had to go through every single one of these goddamn jackpots. I got every reward before I got the Barrel skin. It was diabolical, dude. I don't know what the rates are on this thing. I don't know what the rates are on this little event, but it cannot be fair. It cannot be fair, because I probably spent like 80 pulls worth of freaking Luxite trying to get this hose skin. It was disgusting. Now, I will continue talking about the pity in this game. The pity in this game is actually quite good. Now, the hard pity is, if you're gonna compare it to like Honkai Star Rail, which is probably my most played gacha game, the hard pity is a lot. It's not a lot. It's decently. I believe it's 100. Yes. So the hard pity is one. So when you hit 100, you're guaranteed to get a legendary. In Honkai Star Rail, I believe it's 90, so it's only 10 more, to be fair. And also, the flat rate to get a legendary per like every pull that you do is 2%. So if I do 1 pull right now, it should be a 2% probability to get a legendary. That's like way higher than other gacha games. So in HSR, it's 0.6. And HSR, this is 0.6. Granted, the pity is 10 lower, which is really not that much lower, to be fair. I think the 2% probability far outweighs the 10 more hard pity. So yeah, I've gotten, like I said, I've gotten pretty good luck with this on this banner, so in the game with pulls. So I mean I really won't complain. I think the gacha is like far more than acceptable to me. All right, I'll talk about the dailies. Okay, so the dailies can take quite a long time to complete, at least right now. I haven't exactly gotten down like because in games like Honkai Star Rail or whatever, I have like a routine, you know what I mean? Like there's like I can clear the dailies in maybe like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max, right? Just by like, you know, I log in, clear a couple calyxes or cavern or corrosion or whatever, get my missions or whatever, you know, like the dispatches, get my dispatches. I'm pretty sure that's about it. And then at that point, you're like completely done with all your dailies. That takes maybe 6 minutes, right? This game, I haven't gotten into that routine. I don't know what works and what doesn't work, but obviously you can see I've already cleared my dailies for today, but I've been playing for maybe an hour or something like that. So yeah, the only time I see the dailies becoming an issue is like if I am like very busy or whatever one day, and I just want to like log on mobile and like quickly do my dailies or something. I don't know that I could do that at the moment, but again, we'll see. This is a first impressions thing, so I'll have to wait a little bit. In terms of the Clash game mode, the Clash game mode to me is actually it's probably one of my favorite aspects of the game. I don't know if this is like permanent. I'm pretty sure this is permanent. Now, there's a few things I would like to add to it. Actually, here I'll start off about the premise of it first. I really enjoy getting like pixel badges that are gated behind skill levels. I don't know. That's why I play League, unfortunately. So like getting able to like grind up the rank all the way up to Radiance or whatever is like really satisfying to me, especially because it gives you rewards that are like actually pretty nice. And it's just like a nice fun game mode. It's like PvP, but it's casual, it's PvP. You know, I think it's actually very fun. Now, if I had to add anything to the Clash game mode, I would say the attempts, you only get 5 attempts per day per like 24-hour period. So I would say I would prefer if they I have a couple ideas. Either they regenerate over time, so you get like 1 attempt per hour or 1 attempt every 2 hours, or even however one attempt every 5 hours or whatever. That way, like at like 12 in the morning for like the past 2 or 3 days, I've just been like immediately getting all of them done, and then I can't do it again for like when I go to sleep and wake up and I want to play the game a little more. I can't do it again. I can't grind my rank. But another thing they could do besides time gating it is like you have like 5 attempts or something like that, and maybe plus the time gate or plus like the time regen I mentioned before, but you can only challenge bases that are like, or only challenge players that are higher level than you. So like for example, I could only go after this person's base right here, because that would be like an actual challenge for me, versus like I couldn't like just farm on these 2 guys because they're lower level than me and it's like a breeze. I do wish though that there was like a guild like integration with this, so like you could have like a guild clash. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it, but I do think along the lines of guilds, I do wish there was like some kind of guild wars feature. Granted, the game literally just came out, so I think they definitely could add a lot of this stuff in the future. And it's not like off limits for them now because it's not in the game on release. This is again a first impressions type thing. So, you know, it's like I really don't. I'm not gonna sweat it right now. I guess that kind of wraps up everything. I mean, okay. Well, overall, I would say the game, it's very satisfying for me to play. It has so much there's so much stuff to do in this game. There's so much stuff to do. There's like so many things I didn't cover, like the bond system. You have this, I guess, like you can level up your bond with certain characters. You have like the talent system, which is like your like you can like rank up. It's like a skill tree, but like game wide, I think. There's there's a lot of events going on for the beginning of the game, like daily events and stuff like that. They have an event that rewards you for playing Spiral of Destinies. It's like there's so much stuff to do in this game, especially on release, that it's like you can run out of stamina and still play the game by just doing Spiral of Destinies or doing Tower of Conquest, or I think is what it's called, right? You really don't run out of stuff to do with this in this game. I feel like you can't get bored. I feel like if you get bored in this game, this is just like not your game. And overall, the game has a nice balance of like feeling very cozy, like I said, like feeling very cozy and like somewhat wholesome and like cute characters or whatever, where also having like that nice like intense story that also has like, it doesn't feel like a baby story, right? You know what I mean? Like it has meaning and it has like, it's not like putting me to sleep, but it also is like, it's action and it's invigorating, and the game. It feeds like so many itches that I have. It feeds the strategy game itch, the PvP game itch. It feeds like the weeb/degen like gotcha game itch, and a story game itch, all in one, and probably more too. As far as indie gotcha games go that tend to be like super cash grabby, I think this exceeded my expectations by like a mile. And the complaints that I have about this game are like very minimal. Like I've experienced some like glitches here and there in Spiral of Destinies. I took a screenshot, I think maybe. I like missing textures or whatever, or like the game, like the dialogue was like bugging out. Right, that happened to me once. I just alt F4'd and then I booted up the game again and I replayed it and I think it was fine. I barely have any complaints off the top of my head other than anything I stated in this video, which I also don't think is very negative at all. But yeah, the game is full of content, full of life, and you can tell the devs actually like really love this game, like love working on this game. I love when you can tell like when it's like smaller games like this, like it's not a cash grab, right? If it was a cash grab, the gacha rates would be worse. It would be more incentivizing you to do all this and that. But like, but yeah, I'm actually really excited to keep playing this game. I want to make it one of my like main games to play. I guess and yeah, I'm really excited. So let me know if I missed anything about this game, because like I said, I'm level 28. I know there's a lot of people that are a lot higher level than me. This is like coming from like a somewhat like a semi-casual like first impressions. Yeah, let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you liked it. This is also one of the first videos I'm doing that's like very this is one of the videos I'm doing, the first videos I'm doing where I sit down and record something as opposed to like doing just like saying everything I want to say on stream. It's different because I can take as much time as I want to like think about stuff without having to like keep talking, you know what I mean? Like if I was on stream. I hope you could bear with me through the video, but yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.
Subscribe.